Coming up on today's recap and review of Raw, Ricochet has left the WWE, Liv Morgan is getting freakier, Otis finally turns on Chad Gable, and more. Stay tuned. Welcome back to another video. How you doing? The show opens up with Drew McIntyre and Damian Priest arguing over their match this Saturday for the World Heavyweight Championship. Drew is still upset that Damian made things personal by bringing up his wife last week, but Damian says he was just playing Drew's game and that he's the one that made it personal by saying the only reason why he's champion right now is because of the Judgment Day. And then here's where things get spicy. Damian claims that this isn't the Judgment Day's title, it's his, and that he doesn't need them to be champion. Drew responds with, "Wah, wah, wah, I don't care. I'm gonna be champion this Saturday." I'm paraphrasing. Okay, raise your hand if you think Drew's gonna win this Saturday. That's everyone in the room. But Damian makes a huge mistake by setting up a match between Drew and Finn Balor later in the night, where if Drew wins, the Judgment Day are banned from ringside this Saturday. A decision which, by the look of his face, I don't think Finn Balor knew beforehand. Do I think this was smart? No. Last Clash at the Castle, Drew would have beaten prime Roman Reigns if it were not for the bloodline. So I think Damian is a little too confident doing it alone. Next, Liv Morgan gave Dominik her hotel room card. And hold up. This is a very serious question. When did the WWE get so freaky? Liv Morgan is touching Dominik every week. Brutus Creed is comparing a giant Cheez-It to Bailey's behind. And don't even get me started on what's going on in NXT. I'm not saying I hate it, but it's just an observation. What do you guys think? Do you like Monday Night Freak? After that, we had Iyo Sky versus Lyra Valkyria, a little rematch from the Queen of the Ring semifinals, in which Lyra came out on top. However, she wasn't so lucky this time, as Iyo pulled her hair, I guess, and rolled her up for the pin. Ah yes, the greatest finisher in pro wrestling. The hair pull. But the win wasn't good enough for Iyo, as she and Damage CTRL jumped Lyra after the match. Luckily, Kaden Carter and Katana Chance came to the save. I like this. I wouldn't mind a feud between these six. Oh, and I loved it when during the match, Lyra kicked Kairi Sane and she made this really funny pose. Okay, that's it. Then we had a 6-man tag match between the Judgment Day and the LWO, plus the honorary Mexican Bron Strowman, who unfortunately for the Judgment Day is perfectly fine after that huge beatdown last week. And I was having a great time watching Ray beat up his son for the first time in a long time, only for them to use Ray as a human weapon later on. But then Liv Morgan came and ruined it all. She came out to harass Dominik for the millionth time and accidentally landed like this. Sadly, Finn Balor wasn't here to be the consent cop. Disgraceful, really. I wish it were me. Next, it was my favorite part of the show. Otis. Sami Zayn versus Otis is a match that lasted 1 minute. Otis knocked Sami down and delivered a splash. He listened when Chad Gable told him to do it again, but hesitated on the third splash. This caused Gable to step on the apron and scold him, leaving him open to the haluva kick by Sami for the 1-2-3. As much as I love this storyline, we've seen this exact match ending so many times. Chad Gable attacks Sami. He tries to get Otis to attack him too. Otis refuses, stands up to Chad, but ultimately attacks Sami. However, this time was different. All that happened, but Otis turned on Gable and the crowd went crazy. He trapped him in the corner, raised his fists, and so nearly hit him before putting his fist down and walking out of the arena. We were so close, but really, there's no turning back now, right? I'm pretty sure that after almost being attacked, Chad Gable is extremely angry at Otis and doesn't see him as his number one guy. Chad Gable would have to be a complete psycho to be okay with that, and oh my god, is he smiling? After that, it was Shayna Baszler and Zoey Stark going up against Alba Fyre and Isla. This was a bit confusing. By the way, it only lasted 2 minutes with Shayna Baszler choking Alba Fyre out. All of these women are going to be in the tag title match this Saturday, right? So I'm not sure why we had one team get totally squashed. It makes them look super weak. Plus, I think Alba Fyre and Isla are from Scotland, so you're making the home country wrestlers look like losers? Really weird. F tier. Ilja Dragunov and Bron Breakker put on an absolute banger. Ilja was throwing Bron around with suplexes, hitting him with a coast to coast, and even a massive H-bomb. But Bron was able to turn it around by targeting the ribs and delivering a massive spear for the 1-2-3. You know, I feel like Ilja had control most of the match, which I'd like to think is because Bron doesn't really care about the matches so much, but mostly saves all of his energy for committing war crimes after, which he tries to do. He charges to spear Ilja straight through the barricade, but is caught by a diving Ricochet, who, it has recently come out, is leaving the company. So this is actually his last appearance on Raw. And as per the rules, you gotta put the next guy over, which means you're gonna die. Ricochet was trying to help Ilya walk backstage when Bron drove right through Ilya. Where is Adam Pearce? Wasn't he like super mad at Bron for hospitalizing Dale Dixon? But now he's just like totally given up. Ricochet tries to fight back, but he was no match for Bron, who threw him headfirst into a truck and fell so far before landing straight on his back onto concrete. It looked extremely painful. I kept watching it over and over again just because I couldn't believe it. Then he got slammed on a car, and Bron posed for the hardest photo I've ever seen. Ricochet, you will be missed. I hope you have amazing matches with the best wrestlers around the world. Good luck. Finally, it was time for the main event. Drew McIntyre versus Finn Balor. If Drew wins, the Judgment Day are banned from ringside. A lovely match. Drew nearly launched Finn completely over the announce table, and somehow, as big as he is, he makes doing a kick up look so easy. He inspired me to try it. Not right now though, it's 4:30 in the morning. I am way too tired. The Judgment Day came out to interfere with the match, but Drew knocked them all off, rolled out of the way of a coup de grace, hit the Claymore, and got the 1-2-3. So come Saturday at Clash at the Castle, it'll be Drew McIntyre versus Damian Priest, one-on-one, no distractions. I really can't imagine Damian winning on his own, and disappointing all those fans for the second time would be insane, but we'll have to wait and see. Anyways, that was my recap and review of Raw. Subscribe so you don't miss my video on Clash of the Castle this Sunday, and all the wrestling shows this week. And as always, thanks for watching.